Time off.
It was all spent at home mostly. My middle son's on Starkville High's football team, so they had summer conditioning, and my youngest one's doing football, basketball, and baseball. So a lot of little league tournaments, a lot of running around the state. We'll get 4 days in Pittsburgh starting tomorrow morning, and get back to it next Thursday.
Well, I guess the first question should be about graduate transfer punter, but we'll probably pass on that and talk about it. Obviously, your big summer question. What did you hear about the quarterback competition so on?
I mean, the big thing is with Tommy's just getting him assimilated to his teammates, and making the guys feel comfortable around him. And it sounds like he's been doing a real good job of workouts. I know the players are doing throwing and 7-on-7 stuff on their own. So more than anything, just want to get them around the guys, get them comfortable with Starkville, and then when we get into camp, we'll start doing X's and O's and start letting the guys compete. Let the chips fall where they may.
What was the conversation process that ended up with him coming to Mississippi State?
I don't know that it was different than many other transfers. He got in the portal and probably talked a few days later than that, and he took a couple official visits, and to me it was about his decision-making criteria and what he wanted for his last year of college football, and he and his family felt this was the best fit.
Do you have a decision time frame that you want to make for your quarterback?
Ideally, it's as soon as possible. There's a Wednesday kind of scrimmage that we have. It's 10 days out before the first game, and you'd like to have it, by the end of that scrimmage, so you start opponent prep the next day. But I'm not going to paint myself in the corner and necessarily say it has to be by this date. I think when it becomes obvious to me, it becomes obvious to the team that someone stepped up and won the job. We'll name it, but I don't want to put a hard and fast date on it just because 21 years of doing it, it never really kind of works out how you think it is.
And how does that work? Does Tommy have to take the job from Keaton, or is it truly an open situation right now?
It was like it was for Keaton in spring. He was fighting against Jalen and Garrett, and now you have two older guys, and we'll sit down as a staff when we get back next Thursday and kind of talk about what we're going to do, with the reps and how we're going to balance that out. But everyone is involved in the competition just like every other position. But conventional wisdom dictates that the guy who's in his fifth year and the guy who's in his third year who played in some games are going to be the primary contenders. And we'll put a good plan together. They'll get a good amount of reps with the ones and with the twos, and we'll see where it goes from there.
You mentioned Jalen, Garrett. How have those guys sort of received another quarterback sort of being thrown into the room there?
No, they've been great. It was communicated to those guys, once it became a possibility. And I meet with every player individually once spring ball ends, and I think it was after that. And kind of had another conversation. We felt that it was a more distinct possibility. And I think the message for the guys was, we didn't address Tucker Day and Kobe Schexnader when we signed Corliss Waitman, or it's an opportunity to improve the team and improve the position. And they understood that, and it's the most competitive division in all of college football. We had an opportunity to make the team better. They understood as coaches that's our job.
In that same vein, guys were saying that Isaiah, they see him kind of playing all over the formation. Is that kind of what you see in him?
I don't know what they're doing in 7-on, so I'm guessing he's bouncing around a little bit. But when you look at what his kind of film from Kansas State, he played some slot, he played some outside, and I think that flexibility, instead of pigeonholing yourself into the X, the Z, and the slot, a guy who's able to play all three positions allows you to a little more, the opportunity to get your best three on the field.
Do you measure him having kind of a special teams role at all too?
Yeah, I think he was second team all Big 12 punt returner. So we got some good guys coming back, and we'll get into camp, let him compete. We'll see where it goes. But certainly he's done it at a high level for a couple of years now.
Was getting a quarterback more about getting a player you had familiarity with, or would you have hit the transfer market if Stevenson not been available?
For a quarterback position?
Yeah.
We have a guy on our recruiting staff assigned to the portal. And every morning we come in, and guys who have entered it, we get the names, and it wasn't necessarily that we were looking for a quarterback, as we were looking for a way to upgrade our talent level and upgrade our roster. So we were involved with one prior to Tommy, and we ended up not getting him. He went somewhere else. So at any position, we think we have a chance to make our team better. We explore those opportunities.
Is Isaiah fully healthy at this point, as far as you know?
Yes.
From the spring surgery and also.
What do you remember working with Tommy early on in his career?
Early on?
Yeah.
Great size, very strong live arm. Does a great job with his feet running the ball. a lot of physical talent. I'd say that was probably my initial impression.
Would you consider using him in a varied role, kind of like he was at times used at Penn State, running, even catching the ball, I think?
You mean like when we did the 2 QB stuff?
Yeah.
I think that was, partly because of his talent level in concert with the level with which Trace had performed, that Tommy was, such a good football player and in an attempt to be creative and find ways to move the ball, that having those both guys on the field at the same time allowed us to do some things maybe you couldn't do in a traditional set. And, at times we did that last year. Go back and watch the tape. It wasn't as much as we did at Penn State, but had Nick and KT on the field at the same time. So, it'll be about utilizing their playmakers and having them perform to the best of their ability. And like I said, we want to see those guys practice in the fall and then kind of make those determinations relative to personnel, heading down the road.
You were a quarterback. What are the things you look for? I mean, like, what is the most important
In him or to win the
for a
job?
competition?
Overall, I would say we want a quarterback in this system and kind of in the recruiting model to be a guy that can beat you with his brain, his arm, and his legs. And I think we recruited to that model. And certainly in a competition, outside of the kind of intangible things and aspiring to the level of the confidence level of your teammates and being able to move the ball and score points. The thing that I'm looking for in this competition is the guy who throws the ball the best with the most accuracy. Because when you look at their running statistics and their kind of skill set there, I think they're both like 8-yard carry guys throughout their career, and both guys can beat you with their feet. And what we're looking to improve upon the most offensively is the efficiency, effectiveness, and explosiveness of our pass game. And we got to find a guy that can make tight window throws, can make good decisions, and can help us balance out the offense. Continue doing the great things we're doing in the run game and balance that out in the pass game. So to me, it's going to come down to who's going to throw the ball the best, because I think they run very, very similarly.
Speaking of the run game, Kylan Hill has already made a couple of preseason watch lists. In your conversations with him, how do you see him taking that next step?
No, I think Kylan was a roughly 750-yard rusher last year and missed close to 3 games with injury. I think he'd have been a 1,000-yard guy if he'd been healthy. And I think Kylan feels great. His weight's down a little bit. Coach Boucher and his staff are doing a great job with him and the rest of our guys in the weight room. And I think he's entering this season more mature with a higher level of confidence. And he stays healthy. We're expecting a breakout year from Kylan.
On the offensive, Kendall Jones was a little beat up at the end of spring. I know things. Where are you guys from a health standpoint at the moment? Camp, a couple weeks away.
Yeah, we get injury reports from the training staff, throughout the summer. We anticipate Kendall being, ready in some capacity, either at the middle or the tail end of camp. So he'll I won't say definitely ready for game 1, but he's on track to be back at some point during camp.
Looking at your offensive line, you got guys kind of moving around. Obviously, guys who played a lot of football. I mean, how would you kind of characterize that group? What do you have with that group?
No, I think, led by, Darryl was the anchor at the center position. We lost, Elton and Dion. Those were 2 key cogs. I think as the year improved, our pass protection improved, and obviously we ran the ball very successfully against most teams. I think the mentality of great teams that I've been around have been dictated by the offensive and defensive line. And I think Coach Johnson does a phenomenal job with them. I think they've got great mentality. I think, like you said, they're guys that can play different positions and move around. And I think, once again, that the O-line is something we're going to be excited about hanging our hat on as an offensive unit.
Charles Cross that came in,
Yeah.
100 players, talk about what you expect to see.
He's got a world of potential. We got to put some weight on him. That was something we knew, but he does some of the things that you really can't teach. For a guy that size to move his feet the way he does and kind of bend and do some things athletically. I think Charles will have a heck of a career at Mississippi State. Stays on track, and obviously down the road, he has a chance to play football in the next level.
Pickering too, that came in.
Yeah, Nathan, he's a great kid, a state guy. Could have gone anywhere in the country, decided to stay home. And I think he's kind of where Fabian Lovett was last year, kind of maybe just get used to, I'll say, the speed of the game, but what it takes to prepare in an SEC college environment. But I think Nathan's got that kind of potential.
A lot of new faces on defense this year. What can we expect out of this year's bunch coming off of last year's performance?
Yeah, you had the #1 defense in the SEC last year, and Coach Shute was a World's Award finalist and did a phenomenal job. And we want to look to reload instead of rebuild. I mean, you lose your 4 starters on the D-line. Montez, Gary, Jeffrey, and Braxton, and then your 3 interior guys. But between, Kobe and Marquise Spencer and Fletcher and Chauncey. We bring a lot of guys who played some snaps on the end, and we're just a little bit young on the inside. Kendall and Autry are the older guys, and Fabian and some of those other guys. So it's just going to be a matter of those guys maturing on the defensive line.
I think Green Walker was on the roster that was listed the other day when he was in by
Yeah,
fall
yes,
camp.
yeah. He's got a couple things to finish up academically, but we anticipate him being here again.
On the defensive front, obviously, you have Willie and Errol in the middle. Do you see them being maybe more of a focal point this year with less experience on the front?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
With Errol and Willie in the middle, obviously experienced guys there,
Yeah.
less experience maybe on the front of the defensive line. Do you see those guys maybe being more of a focal point on the defense?
I think they kind of took that role last year, and when you look at our linebacking core, with Errol and Tim at the mic, and Errol being a captain, doing a phenomenal job there, and Willie and Leo, and then you got a lot of young talent there. I would be hard pressed to believe that we're not one of the top linebacking units in the SEC, and believe in the country as well. So I think that critical position where they affect the run game and the pass game, that's probably where we bring back the most experience and most snaps. So those guys are going to play a pivotal role.
Throw Brad into that category too.
Cole?
Yeah.
I kind of lump him in the D-back category, so it's kind of a five. We bring back Cam and Brian, and then we lost both safeties and Jamal. So bringing back Cam and Brian, that's key. And then those other guys play a lot of football too. Morgan, Jaquarius, and Mo Smith was probably our most improved guy on defense during spring ball.
How does a linebacker-led defense attack the kind of wide spread attack that you see in the SEC?
Yeah, I think you kind of see the evolution of defensive football that, very rarely do you see many two tight end, two back teams where you're asking your inside linebackers to play tackle to tackle. The game's spread out. It's as wide as it is. Guys need to be able to, play the run like a backer and play the pass like a defensive back. And I think with the athleticism of Errol and Willie and those guys, I think it helps to combat some of the things that people were doing to put second level guys in conflict. And I think Coach Shoup does a good job matching personnel. So if a team's running a certain offensive grouping, that we're able to get more or less DBs on the field as necessary.
Do you think they'll have to prove their ability and stuff inside run while you kind of figure out who the defensive tackles?
The linebackers?
Yes.
I think they do their job. I think stopping the run game is about gap integrity, and I think there's certain things that you can do. Last year with the guys that we had in our front four, you could single gap or one gap a lot, and this may be a year where we pressure more or we use more movement to kind of bounce things to the outside. So if you're not able to one gap with your front four and kind of let the linebackers run, there's some different things you can do to cancel out gaps and try to maybe change the X and O's to fit the personnel rather than the other way around.
Jay, you're talking about from the chalk up that your offense can take 2 years to kind of get that full understanding. I mean, how much more of an understanding, more sort of deeper understanding did you see in spring ball, and do you kind of expect that going forward?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a natural growth, and I think it's not just about the what's, but about the hows and the whys now. And as we went through the season cut-ups and the spring cut-ups, offensively, just trying to make sure that what we're doing matches who we have. So I think there'll be an increased level of execution because of that.